This time we're going to create an animation that looks like handwriting. So it's as though you're writing the text on the page. So I've got a black colour here. I'm going to use the text tool. The text tool, I'm going to use something called brush script. And the size of this, let's get this up to, say, we'll go for 200 and see how that goes. Okay, so hit the enter on that one. And I'm going to drag across the screen and start typing in hello. Let's use the move tool and move that down to the centre of the screen. Now actually I can make that a little bit bigger, so let's just take that up, and what we'll do is size wise, notice you can drag over when you click in the box, so I can make this go bigger. Let's make that all, I can take this up to 244. That's better, that's a better size to work with. Okay, so this means that we can now get some detail. Now I warn you, this is going to be a little bit fiddly, so just pay attention at the moment. What we're going to do is right click on the actual text once we've got it selected, and we're going to say break apart. And this has broken it into each individual letter. Now we're going to right click again and break it apart, and this will now turn it actually into some form of shape. Okay, so this is the shape that we're going to work with. Now we're going to call this layer text, and we're now going to lock it. Okay, so that's lock that layer. Now we need a mask to work on, so we're going to go and put a new layer in, call it mask. And what we're going to do is we're going to right click on it and turn it into a mask layer. So now we have the mask over the top of the text, and we're going to unlock this layer, and we're going to go and pick a really vibrant colour pink. I don't mind what colour you pick, I'm going to go for pink this time. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit on the stage so that I can work. Remembering holding space bar down brings you up with the drag tool, and that drags the entire stage, not the text itself. And what we're going to do is we're going to go and find the brush tool, and I need my brush to be a little bit bigger than this at the moment, so we're going to just take it up a little bit, circular brush. Now you'll notice at the moment that wasn't very helpful, because what we've got here is we have actually got a little crosshair, and it didn't show me the size of the brush. If you look up at the top right hand corner, I've got this little target button here. If I click on that brush, what it will do now is it will now show me the actual size of the brush. So I'm just going to undo what I've done so far. Okay, so now what we've got the text that's there. We're going to actually now go to frame 60, right click in it, and we're going to say insert frame. Now in the mask field itself, what we're going to do is we're again going to need to actually put a frame in at the very end, so right click on it and insert frame again, and we're going to go to the very first cell, and we're going to start to use this brush. Now this brush is just about the right size at the moment, so I'm in that first frame, and I'm going to start to cover the text itself, and this is the bit that's going to be shown. Now it's really difficult to see the actual inside shape and what we're working with. So down here on the toolbar, you'll see that there is actually this pink block colour. If I click on it, what it will do is it will show an outline instead. Now if I need to make this brush a bit smaller, remember you've got your square bracket key like you do on Photoshop, so I'm just going to make it a bit smaller. I'm going to go to the second frame now and hit F6 on the keyboard. And what F6 will do is it will duplicate the previous frame, and we can now draw another little bit more text. More over the text. Go to the next frame and hit F6 again, and do the next little bit. Now I am going to need to go and zoom in a little bit on this next bit for the next frame. We're going to be very much more detailed on it, and this could be a bit fiddly, but it's great to do this. So I'm going to need to take the size of my brush down a little bit in a moment, because I'm going to want to make sure that I edge across this actual H, because you've got to think about the way that you actually draw it. Okay, so can you see now there, that's actually left it quite nice, and a nice sharp edge just there. But I now need to bring my actual brush right the way down so that it is the same width as the letter itself, just to try and make this next bit a little bit easier. So we're going to go to the next frame, hit your F6 again. And what we're going to try and do is actually work out where the text tool actually would be, and line it up with the actual shape. So we're trying to make that as sharp as possible there, just in the middle. so that it looks as though it was the accurate shape that's there. Right, so we now go to the next bit, click and go shift, or I've got F6, I have to press shift on my keyboard. So now we've drawn that downstroke, that's all completely done. Now when we think about drawing these letters, you would do the start of the H and then we do the next downstroke. So next block, here. You can spend as much time on this as you want to. It doesn't matter if you go over the shape itself, that's absolutely fine. Let me just edge that one right the way along there. It does help having a mouse this time. Last time I decided to do it on the touchpad, not quite as clever. Right, coming down, we're now going to go through that middle bit. So again, go on to a new frame again, do the F6, which duplicates the previous one, and let's see how accurate I can make this one. Next frame. So we'll finish that one off there. So we've now done the complete H. Let me just zoom out just a little bit. So you can see now we've drawn the first bit of the H, we've got the second bit of the H. So if I just stroke over it, there we go, that would draw the first bit, then that would draw the second bit. Now what we need to do is on the next one we need to start on doing the cross piece. So again, do your duplication, F6. And now this doesn't matter where we go, we can go right the way over, that's fine. We're going to take it to there, do that bit, we're going to do the next middle bit. Go. I could make this a little bit bigger if I wanted to. You don't actually need to click in the actual frame itself, you just hit F6 and it will automatically take you to the next frame. So if I just unmask that little, unclick that box at the moment, we can actually see how this works with the colour over the top. And if we lock the layer, you'll see how it works in the, so there we go. And can you see here, this is where you would need to fine tune it, and then we get to the H. So I'm now going to whiz through the rest of this one, and I will do this on speed up, and you'll see that this is now, we'll get to the end of the actual letters itself. Okay, so I've now gone and covered over the whole of this, so let's go and just zoom out a little bit and see what happens when we actually do the lock on it and play this right back from the beginning. Let's take it back to the frame 1, and as we go through you can start to see that it starts to draw way through. I've done the hello. You can take as much time as you want on this one. There we go, that's the actual hello done, and if I do Control and Enter, it shows you the handwriting.